Hey guys, okay, everyone's asking how to dirty it up, so I realize it's a different cup, but it's a different order. So I get my fingers dirty, I use my brushes, but I always make sure there's at least one fingerprint on the cup, just because people are grabbing it without gloves and making a mess on the cup with their hands, not brushes. But any brush, I find the little guys are easier to control. Douse it a couple times and just pick your cup up anywhere at random and just smudge. A couple of, dirt marks. I try not to leave physical brush marks because they're not handling it with a brush. They're handling it with a finger. And always keep a paper towel, something to dab any excess if you're going to be switching colors. I normally don't start off with pitch black. I will start off with the teak or the espresso and just, like I said, dab it up. And you can also, as you'll see, you get very messy. You can take your brush with it on and tap it for some splatters. I don't know if y'all can see that, but just splatter it up a little bit and go back to doing some smudges and streaks, and they're literally anywhere. If it runs down like that, let it go. I mean, it's a grease mark, it's a can, and just smudge, change the breadth of the width, the breadth, change the brush so that you're not just doing the same size, and just mess them up. Time to change to a different color. So again, we'll get rid of the excess on there. Hey, and there's my daughter in the middle of this. That's typical. Okay, and that was my teak. Now I'll go a little lighter with my latte, which, as can be seen, I use a lot of. And you can also do this with cinnamon if you don't have any alcohol inks handy. You can use official Minwax stains to dirty them up, and paints, but paints typically you can't get them thin enough without possibly contaminating the vinyl, so you want to typically avoid them. But anything, you can go out back and dig in your yard and get some dirt. There's the fingerprint. Try and grab, yeah, we'll do it over here. Grab it and just, and there's a fingerprint. Gonna do another one. Get it on your finger good. There you go. He's grabbed the can, or she, or don't want to limit garage cans to just men. I know women get into that as well. Not me personally, but I'll provide the coffee while they're doing it. So glad my phone is on silent during this. And there's a grease run. Another grease run. Just dab it up however you think you can make it look like it's been sitting in a garage for a while. Now I'm going to do some more splatters. And again, like I said, make sure you have your area covered up pretty good, because it does, yeah, I can't do it one-handed. Grab my little silicone anti-roll device, also known as a stirring stick for epoxy. The only way to get the alcohol ink off of a surface, if you're lucky to catch it early enough, is with rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol. And hardwood floors, it does not come out of very easily, from experience. You see, it's just little splatters, make it look used and abused, sorry, well loved. And just, it doesn't need a whole bunch, but I do see I want a little swatch there, and a little bit up there, and there we go. And oh no, I gotta get one down here. And my brush is a little dry, so I ended up with brush strokes. And yeah, that would be that. And it's a matter now of taking it and putting the epoxy, well no, sorry, you don't put epoxy on it yet. You have to seal it. You can either let it sit like this for 2 to 3 days and you're good, or you can take Mod Podge. A lot of people don't like Mod Podge. I personally don't have a problem with it. And you can seal the alcohol ink and any air bubbles that may have appeared on the top or along the seam to keep the epoxy, oops, sorry, I'm out of focus, along the top or the bottom, to keep any air bubbles or any epoxy from getting underneath your vinyl and lifting it up. I use Mod Podge 99% of the time. I have on occasion used the Rust-Oleum Clear Matte Spray Sealer, and that works fine too. I'm impatient and don't want to take the necessary time to go out in the backyard, paint it, and let it dry. So, and this is just regular old dishwasher Mod Podge, nothing special. But close it up because it stinks and it dries quick. Take your cup again, although I will not be able to do this with it sitting there because I'm just not that good. Just get along the edge good. And you'll see it does, I'm going to try and show you on here, it does leave some color. Well, it's not really showing, but the inks will move a bit. That is fine. It's not going to hurt anything. It is a garage cup, and I just flung Mod Podge onto my mini blinds and my front window. Have to get that before the husband sees it. And just give it a random coat. I'm going to now flip it over because I have to turn it. And just, I usually get the middles and the top, because half the time I'll forget the bottom. And just seal the alcohol ink from smearing or turning, depending on what inks you use and different techniques. You'll often have the alcohol ink turn green, and well, on a grease cup you don't want green. Well, I've never seen any green grease or oil, but you don't want the discoloration. And again, make sure you get that seam really good, otherwise that epoxy will find its way up underneath there and then you're in trouble. And after I get the top good, I like to take my finger, and I don't know that I'm going to be able to do this way. Here we go. And just get the edge cleaned. Oh, my finger looks gross, doesn't it? Alcohol ink is great. But just clean the edge, simply because if you don't, when you epoxy it, it's going to leave this funky texture. I don't know why. I have not figured that out. Maybe because I don't sand it, but it'll leave that texture. You want to clear just the edge of the rim. You don't want to get the epoxy off the edge that you just sealed, if that makes sense to you guys. And now I'll come down and make sure I'm in screen, because I'm horrible with that too, and seal the bottom. And this, sealing it this way also, if you did any of the little pin pen pops of the potential air bubbles throughout the vinyl, sealing the entire cup instead of just the edges and the seam will seal any of those little pin pricks as well, and that will keep the vinyl from getting in there and lifting up. And yes, seal the bottom, just because there's a sticker there that you don't want anybody to, or anything to get underneath it. And just again, real quick, once over on the cup, just to make sure. The bottom you don't have to worry about wiping down because it sits on the bottom, but with people that don't like to use the lids and will drink out of the cup, you want a smooth surface here, so that is why you take your finger and make sure it's smooth even after the epoxy. Excuse me, you do that, and that's it. But dirties up a cup, and I will, maybe tomorrow, depending on how my day goes, I will show you guys the epoxy method and let it spin. But as for now, that's stage 2, step 2 of dirtying. Well, first one was making it, and now dirtying it up, and then we'll seal it. If you have any questions, like always, leave a comment. I will do my best to answer, get back to you. There are links available in previous ones. I will try and get them up on this one as well. For the vinyl that I purchased, the designs, shall I say, the design, the link to now 150, we don't have to worry about that because it's not in here. I didn't use my heat gun this time, and it's 143 vinyl now, not 651. The alcohol inks, they can all be found online at Amazon. You can go to Michael's, you can get them at Hobby Lobby, you can get them at Joann's. They're available everywhere. Paintbrushes, just go cheap. They're nothing special. And Mod Podge, again, you can get that anywhere. If you guys need links, I'll provide them, but I think you're good there. But the other videos that I have, you'll see the links for the vinyl, for the heat gun, for everything I was using. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.